This conference will now be recorded.
All right.
I believe I have merged.
Switched over to the new number. I couldn't get in.
Okay. Dave, I have you on. Mike, can you hear us?
I can hear Dave. Can everybody hear Dave?
Yes.
Good. Okay.
Okay, good. So just to quickly go through again, Kristen Wheaton, Andy Pitzker, Dave McDermott, Paul Carney, Mike Fury, Colette Burrell, and Danelle Bright. And absent is Angela Erickson. Okay, so the first, and I'm going to follow my agenda, and if I sway from the written one, just please stop me. The first agenda item is I just want to mention the charter was put up on the website. If anybody had a chance to see it, thanks to Andy, he got that on the website, and that charter spells out all the subcommittees and what we're doing. So that is on the website. So if you forget what subcommittee that you're on, you can just refer to that, right onto the website. So thanks, Andy, for doing that.
You're welcome.
All right, so the next agenda, although I have it here, is sewer service area and asset management plan. I'm just going to speak about the sewer service. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to back up here. I made a mistake here. I want to make a motion to open to the public.
I'll make the motion.
Paul Carney make a motion. Dave seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Abstaining? Is there anybody from the public who would like to speak? Just state your name, where you live, and then you could say what you could speak. Seeing no one's interested in speaking, unless I can't hear you.
Yeah, they're probably trying to raise their hands. So you may want to look at your. Do you see that on your screen, Mike?
It looks like I have 8 people on the call. So Paul, Kristen, Dave, me. With Colette, that's 7. There's one person on the phone, I see.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 11 people on the call.
Yeah, I'm showing 8, so.
Okay.
My screen's showing.
If you
Does
click
anybody?
if you click on the people thing at the top right, it says 8. Because it seems to count
Right.
for those who have called in. So.
Oh, thank you, Kristen. That's correct. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
But some people have called in and are dialed in.
Yeah, I am dialed and called in.
Right. I apologize. We're having, this is not the easiest thing to do. If no one wants to speak, I can't see anybody wanting to speak. You make a motion to close to the public.
Oh, this is Martin O'Donnell. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, we can hear you, Martin. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, it does work if you just take your microphone off mute. But anyway, I just wanted to say it's my first meeting. I'm just here to listen. I want to thank you guys. I know this is a volunteer position, and I really appreciate what you guys are doing for the town. So that's really all I need to say.
Oh, thank you, Martin.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? there's anybody else, if they want to unmute themselves, that probably would help.
I would say also that if people are having an issue, there is a little dialog box at the top right of the screen, so you can type things in there also. If for some reason we're having a hard time hearing you, we just
Yeah,
would
there's
have,
like a chat.
yeah, there's a chat thing. So we would have to just keep an eye on that to see if something pops up there, and we should be able to respond to it at the appropriate
Yeah,
time.
thanks, Kristen. I appreciate that. If anybody is having a hard time being heard and wants to just do a chat, I'm looking at it right now. And then if I hear anybody who's trying to get in, then we'll try to work with you.
Right. And then on the bottom of that chat box, it says it has a particular person. You can say everyone so they can all see it, as I just did. I said, hello all. You can use that as
Yeah, I
well
saw that.
on your chat box. Okay.
Good deal.
All right, we're gonna seeing no one trying to chat or speak. I'll make a motion to close to the public. Anybody second?
Motion to close.
I'll second it.
Second by Dave. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? So move on to I apologize for not getting to that. The next item on the agenda, I apologize, it was the sewer service area. Now, there was some activity on this. I did originally reach out to Surin, and just as a background, the original map, and someone who's been on longer than me may correct me on this, but I believe the original map submitted to the DEP was in February 2018. There was a revision in February 2019. There was a meeting down at the League of Municipalities in November 2019, and then there was some subsequent follow-up, and there's been several, a lot of follow-up on this. So, am I correct on that? On the people that have been on for a little while, more than me and Andy? Is that about the time frame?
Yes.
That sounds right to me, Mike.
That sounds right.
They
So
set
what I
that
did-
down. They set that down the month I got appointed, which was February of 18.
Oh, good. Then I am correct then. So it's been over 2 years. So and obviously, and as a point of reference, this is critical. In order to expand the sewer system, we have to get an approved sewer service area map approved by the DEP. Now, Surin has been following up on this. We have a meeting next Friday with the township engineer, Surin, and the mayor, and a few other people to talk about the sewer service area map and what the DEP requires. So I originally reached out to who I thought was the reviewer, which is Amanda Laban, and apparently she wasn't the reviewer. So I reached out to the assistant commissioner, and then we found out right now, as of today, the person who's responsible for the review is his name is Paul Demuro, Demuro. So he's reviewing the map. He's going to be reaching out to me tomorrow. The items that are required that they're missing, they need some determination on C1 streams, some kind of determination. They're looking for an updated nitrate dilution analysis model, and they're also looking for some sort of documentation from the county on septic systems, the failure rate for septic systems in the township. So there is a little bit of work that has to be done to move this forward. Does anybody have any questions on what the DEP is looking for, so I can clarify?
Oh, no.
Yeah, I guess I heard what you said, but I apologize, Mike. I'm not entirely clear what that might entail.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
the septic system failure rate and documentation on that, I understand why they want to see that. The nitrate dilution model, which is generally used for development, and Kristen, you might be more familiar with it than I am. My understanding is it used for determining, density and lot size and development, but apparently they need to kind of updated nitrate dilution model. So Sarin is gonna, our township or MUA engineer is gonna work on that, and obviously they're gonna try to provide whatever the documentation that the DEP needs. Any questions about that?
No.
Now, question for you, Mike.
Go ahead, Andy.
No, go ahead, ladies before gentlemen.
The septic system failure rate, that would be based on, I mean, that's just based on data that we have. We wouldn't have townwide data. I mean, there could be a lot of them that are failing that we have no idea of.
My understanding, Kristen, is the county might have that information and not the township, because they're the ones that approve septic systems.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they would know about the failure rate. I did see some kind of an email from somebody from the health department that showed some kind of failure rate, and I'll when I get a chance, I'll share that with everybody. But this is information that the DEP requires, and it's going to be hard pressed to for the township to be able to produce it. And I know from talking to Sarin, she has to get most of that information from the county.
Okay.
Mike,
Yeah.
Back in 2017, there was when it was still the older crew of the MUA, they did a study of some kind or another, or a survey about all the septics that were going bad down on 94, and they came up with some kind of numbers, but it was hotly contested and created a lot of stir. And this is before the Mountain Creek bankruptcy. And what happened was they were going to say they were going to lay pipe down there on 94, and they were going to make everybody hook up to it who had any kind of sewer septic problem. And they were saying, like, if you had a chipped cover, they would put it down as a failed sewer. But that survey or report should still be somewhere in the MUA archives.
Hey, Dave, do you think the Mott McDonald did that, or was it the MUA itself?
No, I can't remember for sure, because it was back in 2017 or 2016. But I know Vinny Zeno was still on the thing. Eddie Rolando was still there. I don't know who did the survey. It's a long time ago.
I'll check. I'll check with the engineer.
Yeah, because it was definitely done, and it stirred up a hornet's nest, because these people thought they were going to be forced to hook up to a sewer when they had a perfectly operating septic.
Right, I understand. So I guess what makes sense is to check with Sarin from Mott McDonald and see if she has any documentation.
Right. Yeah.
I'll follow up with that.
Do you think there's any records in the office for that?
I would think so. I would definitely think so, because, and if not, maybe even a town council, because it was some of the people came to a town council meeting and bitterly complained And but there was definitely a study done, so there's got to be some kind of paperwork to it somewhere.
Wouldn't the county have all of that?
Very well could be.
Yeah, I believe, to answer that question, I think Dave is right. There was something done by the MUA, and there's also information that has been collected by the county. So we're gonna check on those two sources of information and then get back to everybody. So that is being looked at. That's being pushed forward. Any questions about that? And I appreciate that, Dave. If you find something, let me know. But Colette, we'll make that an action item about an old study. We're going to check with the county, and we're going to check with MUA records and the engineer.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll check the records in the office first, and then take it from there.
And
Thanks.
another resource there would be Harry Shortway. He was the mayor, I think, or he was the incoming mayor when this happened, and it was like during the transition. I'll tell you, it was quite some argument.
Right. Well, that's good to know, Dave. I appreciate that. So we'll check it. We'll research that and gather that information because that's important.
Sure.
Thanks, Dave. Anybody else on the sewer service area map?
No, Mike, I just wanted to say, with regards to the information from the county, that's something that I know that they are definitely going to want, from the phone conversation that Harry and I had last year with them. They want like written documentation from the county, pointing out specific septics that have failed. So, and I think it's a good idea to have the study that was done before, but I know they definitely want something from the county.
All right. I agree with you, Janelle. That's correct.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll do some research on that, and we'll get back to everybody. That's going to be and obviously that's pretty critical to moving forward on anything we want to do. Under the next item is an asset management plan. I know Andy reached out and said if anybody wants a hard copy of that asset management plan. Who needs a hard copy? Kristen said no. Paul Carney says yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Dave
but how do I
McDermott?
send it to you, Paul, because wait a minute. Dave, I gave it to him, but Paul and Christian, I sent an email out and nobody's responded to me because I have them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dave, Andy.
Matt gave me one, so I'm all set.
Yeah, Andy, get it to me. Get it to me, and I'll get it to Paul.
Okay, great. They'll have it tomorrow.
All right, thanks. Thanks, Andy. I appreciate that. So under the asset management plan, the only remaining item is an evaluation of the two force mains. And that evaluation was described in a technical memo that was issued by Surin. And it was a 3-page technical memo. And my understanding in that technical memo, she said the estimate, the cost to do that evaluation with a contractor and the engineer was about $35,000 or $30,000. I'm sorry, $35,000. And Surin checked with the DEP under the asset management plan grant funding program, and they agreed to pay for that evaluation under that grant. So right now, Surin is looking for direction on whether to move forward with that. She wants a decision on whether we want to move forward. If people want to see some more information, I can give them that information, but does anybody have an opinion on that?
I think we should move forward as rapidly as possible so we can complete the asset management plan, you know?
Right.
Do we
Any,
absolutely,
anybody else?
absolutely have to do this now, or can this be just part of our plan moving forward, that we recognize that we have to do an inspection of these force mains? That's just part of our plan, not necessarily an answered at this time.
My understanding, Kristen, to answer that, to complete the asset management plan, they had difficulties evaluating one of the force mains, and they have to do this to get a complete evaluation, and then to determine what to do with the force mains, whatever, to make any recommendation on how to deal with those two force mains. So to me, it almost seems like, and if it's going to get covered under the grant program, it's probably, we should probably move forward with it sooner rather than later.
If it's covered under a grant program, that's fine. I guess I didn't see that part. What I saw was that if it was over $100,000, it could be included in the iBank, is what I understood as to be the iBank funding. I didn't see anything about a grant, but maybe I wasn't.
Yeah, Danelle might be able to talk about that. Danelle, can you answer that question? Because there's been certain money spent already towards that grant. Danelle? Danelle there? We lost Danelle. My understanding.
Danelle, maybe you're on double mute, Danelle. Double check if you have your keyboard in addition to. Because I see she's off mute, but.
Yeah. Danelle? So, all right. I think I can answer that, Kristen. I believe the total amount spent towards that grant is $48,000, and you have up to $100,000 that you could $100,000 towards that grant to pay for the completion of an asset management plan. Danelle, am I correct about that?
She logged off. She's logging back in.
So the way I see it, if it's $48,000 spent so far, and most of the asset management plan's done, and the force mains are not completed, for that extra $35,000 will be under the $100,000.
Oh, so it's up. So it's okay. So it's up to $100,000.
Correct. And I believe actually we may have been approved for more than 100. I don't know that exact number. So she got it approved by the DEP to move forward. But I'm going to make sure that that's definite, and so we can at least get a decision. Like we have to make a decision. If you want to make a decision at the next meeting and table for the next meeting, we can do that. But if we want to vote on it now and approve her to move forward, we have to do it tonight.
If it's grant money, I'd say go for it.
Yeah, amen.
All right.
You hesitate, just lost.
See, all right, let's take a vote on moving forward with this.
Back.
Hi, I'm back. Sorry, I got kicked out. I'm sorry.
So what Mike explained, as I understand it, is that we're approved up to $100,000 for a grant, and that the asset management plan to date has cost about $48,000, so that we still have money to spend under our grant, and that this $35,000 would apply therefore to this grant that we have to complete the asset management plan.
Yes, that's 100% correct. Sorry.
Okay, good. That sounds good. So yeah, I guess we were just saying then that sounds like if we have money to spare, then we should proceed with the $35K, since it's a grant that's available to us.
Agreed.
And before we make a vote on this, Danelle, do you have to get, as part of that grant funding, do you have to get something official back from them that it's approved for that $35,000, or if an email says yeah you can proceed with that, that's acceptable?
The email is fine. I don't foresee any issues. If they've put it in writing, I don't think that they can go back on that. And it's part of the whole asset management plan. So even though it's an additional piece that we're spending money on, it would still be considered part of all of that. So we should be
All
okay.
right, good, thanks. I appreciate that. All right, let's take a vote.
I'm sorry, just one question. Did we get a proposal on this? I guess I recall that we have discussed this, but do we have a proposal for what that 35,000 includes?
Yeah, the technical memo from Sarin. It was like a 3-page technical memo. If you don't have it, Colette, please follow up with me, and then I'll get that out to everybody. Because Sarin did send that technical memo. I thought in the past I sent it out to everybody. But if you want to hold off on a vote until you read that technical memo, we can hold off.
I guess I just want to know whether there's any additional cost. Like, is that just the inspection cost, and then Sarin is going to have to spend another, 10 or whatever to update the AMP?
No, my understanding was $35,000 for the engineering and the contractor evaluation.
Okay, so
I think I'm with Christian here. Is that I think we need to make sure we have a clear documentation that maps everything out before we say go.
All right, then before we vote on it, we'll have to wait for the next meeting. We'll have to. I'll send out. I'll make an action item, Colette. I need to send a technical memo from Sarin on the force main evaluation, and that'll spell it out. And then the next meeting we'll follow up with a vote.
And sorry to be the fly in the ointment here, but I agree with Christian. We got too many balls in the air right now to figure out what we're looking at.
All right, I'll follow up with that and send that out. All right. The next item on the agenda, Pump Station 2 update. This is a big one. Just to let everybody know, me and Andy, we met with Mayor Burrell, Council President Harry Shoreway, Joe Hessian from Mountain Creek, and I don't know the other person's name, the one with Joe. Andy, do you remember his name?
Oh, Scott. Was it
Scott? It was Scott.
Yeah, Scott. His name was Scott. And then Mario from Dewberry was the engineer. So we met yesterday in the parking lot near the pump station, and we discussed the present pump station and the possible upgrades. And what I thought the site plan was not correct. The original site plan that's probably almost 14 years old, and it's been updated a few times. The location of the pump station is across Sand Hill Road, up towards the parking lot, overflow lot, towards that overflow lot. That's where the current site plan is located. So we discussed the possibility of adding the capability of a transfer station into that plan. That was discussed. In general, it was a very positive meeting with everybody. We're all seem to be working together in the right direction. Andy, what was your take on the meeting?
I think, as Marty did, he gave us a little background in history and in discussing this new attribute of having a transfer station. He wants to go back and research it and how could we combine the two together. Makes for an interesting concept and definitely would help us use those EDUs or I should say the daily usage that we're paying for that we don't have any usage on. So it was definitely a positive meeting, a great meeting of the minds to kind of start looking at it. So that's where I was at. Yeah, very much so.
Right. So, and any questions about that, the pump station 2? upgrade?
I just wanted one quick question. In our plans or the plans, do you think there will be room in there to use to have a tractor trailer transfer as opposed to just a straight job?
Yeah,
that was discussed and where you put it and what the location will be, because there's an opportunity to move the location if Marty can evaluate it.
Okay, thank you.
He's gonna take the current plan that they've done in the past and try to reconfigure it to possibly put a transfer station with large trucks, turnarounds, all those things. Like
Okay.
with that, so that is going to be the part of the evaluation. There's any other no other questions about that? I wanted to talk about a request for qualifications, and I would like to possibly and know who would be like interested in possibly putting together some kind of request for qualifications, not an RFP, but a qualifications, looking possibly at the project's a pump station upgrade, sewer system expansion, pipeline expansion, and then rehabilitation of the force mains. That's in general what we'd be looking for. And as a first step to possibly put a request for qualification together to see if there's any interested engineering any engineering consultants that would be interested in possibly pursuing that work. What's everybody's thought on that?
So this would be a competition to Mont McDonald, I guess. So instead of awarding it to Mont McDonald, we would have a competitive engineer evaluation for assistance in this regard.
Yeah, that's really what would we be looking at, is someone an engineering firm that would be interested in all those projects, and it'd be pretty encompassing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's worth?
I think it's worth it if the board decides to proceed. I could help you with that.
I appreciate that, Chris. And if you could draft something up along those lines, and then if you can get it, bring it to the next meeting, that would be fantastic.
Sure.
I appreciate that, Chris. Because
I'm sorry. I don't mean to talk over you. Just a suggestion. I know I can reach out to our QPA too, and maybe put you in touch with him, Kristen. He might already have some of that kind of stuff already drawn up.
Okay.
He just might have like a template that you can look at and move around to make it a little bit easier on you.
Sure. Yeah, I appreciate that, Danelle.
Yeah, Danelle, if you could follow up with that, that'll be like an action item. Get a template that Kristen could start with, and then build it from there. So that's something we're going to discuss. We'll discuss that if we get something together. We'll discuss at the next meeting. Anybody else?
I would just say that I think that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, to have competitive qualifications.
Right, and I think that's good. Everybody seems to agree with that.
I agree.
Right. Feasibility committee. Paul Carney and Dave McDermott. I know you had a meeting yesterday. Could you give us an update? Either Dave or Paul would.
I was there. I was on the thing. Dave Bauer didn't log on. So as a result, the last night's meeting was supposed to be to interview him for his thoughts and expertise on a pump station. And when that didn't happen, they just canceled the meeting and they said they're going to have another one down the road. Jean Murphy was supposed to get in touch with Dave, and she tried getting him at the meetings, but his phone went right to voicemail. So it was kind of a dead issue.
Paul, were you there?
No, I was not on. I was dealing with some other things. I was in touch with Harry Shortway, told him I wasn't going to be on. But the prior meeting, though, I did bring up a question to a member of the Environmental Commission. Because there was something, there was one line in the letter from the DEP that you forwarded to us, where they were asking us for a nitrate dilution study. And my question to it was Peg, and my question to her, and my question that's still rattling around in my head is, why are we being asked that? We are a sewage conveyance system. We don't treat the sewage. So why would that type of a study be put on the MUA? That's something that, in my opinion, would fall under the purview of the county municipal authorities, not us. They're the ones who are doing the treatment. I don't understand why.
I agree with you, Paul. I think the nitrate dilution model analysis has been done by the county. I'm not sure if it's been updated. So you are exactly right, is the county is more responsible for producing that model. So
yeah, I don't think for someone from DEP to ask us that, it has nothing to do with us. I mean, we're contracted to the sewage authority, and they have to treat whatever we send them, basically, unless it's industrial waste. So it really shouldn't have any impact on us to pay for a study.
Right, and that's something that we're going to look into is whether the county has some of that information already. My understanding that something was done on the county level, but we don't know where they were at with I think it's the county planning office, and whether they've completed a model analysis or they have any kind of information. So I agree, Paul. We shouldn't have to pay for it, and we shouldn't have to do any kind of study. And whether it's the township, the MUA, or environmental commission, that should be under the purview of the county.
All right.
Yeah, but that study is probably a couple of years away.
Well, I had to tell you, the sewer service, the map has to be approved as soon as possible. I don't think the MUA or the township could wait another 2 years.
Agreed.
So that's going to be pursued. The question for the feasibility committee, it's going to meet one more time and then eventually produce a report.
Yes, at least once more. Maybe there'll be a second one.
Right, but the ultimate goal. 2 more? Okay, thanks.
Yeah, there might be. Because we missed this one this week, so we really didn't get anything accomplished. So it might have to extend a little bit.
All right. Another item on there is a liaison for the town council. We already approved that in the last meeting. I'll follow as an action item, Colette. We're going to follow up with the town council and the mayor to see if they're still interested in having some kind of liaison from the town council.
Okay.
All right. Next on the agenda is approval of Phil's list.
Mike, can I stop you for a second?
Right ahead, Janelle. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry. We do need 2 members for the finance committee. We did receive a draft audit, so I don't believe that we established the finance committee this year. So if anyone would like to be a member of that, that would be great.
Hey, I have and I don't have the subcommittee charters in front of us, Andy, and maybe you remember. We had some kind of like finance subcommittee.
Yeah, I'm on that one. I think that was you.
Who else? It was you and I.
Okay, great.
I'll have to pull the charter up.
All right. So me and Andy will review that. We'll get back to you, Danelle.
Okay, yeah, so what I'll do is I'll send you both a copy of the draft audit, and then we can figure out a time to discuss it.
Yeah, you need to give me some direction there to know what you're looking for.
Okay.
Thanks.
Another action item, Colette, is get a copy of that draft audit, and we'll get it too, but I share it with all the members.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Danelle. And Danelle, please, stop me if I'm missing something. So a bills list. I sent out a bills list. Was sent out late. Did everybody have a chance to review the bills list?
I did.
I did not.
I did not. I'm looking for it now.
I have a question for Danelle on that bills list. Why are we paying for 3 different lawyers?
Oh my gosh, did I just, I'm sorry. I'm bringing it up right now.
Okay.
I'm going to go over to the. I apologize, by the way. That I think that was sent out today.
So we
Yeah,
have 2 attorneys.
There's 3 attorneys. I'm going to pull it back up as well now, but there are 3 attorney bills there.
There's 2. So we have Norris McLaughlin, and then we have Lavery Salvaggi. So Norris McLaughlin is our bankruptcy attorney, and Mountain Creek is still in bankruptcy. So there are still certain filings that our attorneys need to attend. And the township's in the same boat as that. And Lavery Salvaggi is our standard attorney who we have the retainer with. Can everyone hear me? Now everything just went silent.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm looking at this now, okay? All right, so we have Tom Carroll for QPA services.
He's our QPA, yes.
Okay. That's outside the administrative charges?
Yeah, so the QPA services is a qualified purchasing agent that increases your quote and bid thresholds. It also gives us the ability to have somebody else look at purchasing, other than myself.
And he gets paid by the quarter, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Would everybody be more comfortable if we table the bills list to the next meeting and vote on it next meeting, or?
Yes.
I'm okay with it. I'm looking at it now.
Yeah, I mean, if everybody else is doing it, I just don't have it in front of me. So.
All right. Why don't we table the bills list to next meeting for the next workshop?
Okay.
Okay. The only thing I would ask, and I'm just going to let you know, we're going to send out the Celco bill because it's a utility, and the same thing with the JCP&L bills. That needs to get filled out, and those are, like I said, those are utilities, so they don't need approval. I just wanted to let you know because we have to pay the electric and the phone bills.
Yes, I agree.
Can we do a line? Yeah,
Okay,
I agree.
that's
Can we?
fine.
You can.
Sorry, Andy.
No, I agree. You can pay. If we could do a line item vote, I would agree to the cell phone and to the JCP&L bill. I'm still struggling why we're still paying retainer fees for for 2020 on these bankruptcy pieces, and now we have a retainer, we have a February 2020, and we have a blanket retainer. So we've got multiple retainers for Laverne, Lavery, Savaji, and Ambrosi's. These are just retainers, and every month it keeps adding up. And I'm going like, is this something we should be paying?
So just to explain, the Lavery Salvaggi one, that one is our monthly retainer for our attorney. That is something on, whether it's this law firm or not, that we would have to pay. So that's something that's not going to go away, whether we have this attorney or not. So that will always be there. Regarding the bankruptcy amount, though, that would be something, obviously, it's up to the board that they can discuss with the attorney if that's something that we wanted our regular authority attorney a part of, as we do have the Mountain Creek bankruptcy attorneys with Norris and McLaughlin. So the retainers are never going to go away. It's the same thing with the township. The township has a township attorney that we pay retainers to on a monthly basis.
Okay.
Why? So we can all agree the cell phone and the electric bill to be paid, right? You don't need to. We could break that out, right? They're now off the list.
Yes.
We'll break that off the list, and it doesn't have to be approved. But we're going to table the bills list to the next meeting. Does everybody agree?
Yes. Okay.
All right. Let's move on to the minutes. Andy, you sent out minutes for the last workshop. And it was at April 30th. Did everybody have a chance?
Yesterday.
Everybody have a chance to review those minutes?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, nice job, Andy.
I saw them.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody want to make a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Approved by first motion from Dave McDermott. Second is.
I'm sorry.
I'll make a second.
I'm sorry. These are the April 30th minutes.
Yeah, April 30th. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make a second.
So, all right. Paul Carney is a second. All in favor? Aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Any abstaining?
This is Kristen. I'm abstaining because I wasn't present.
You weren't present on the meeting. So motion passes to approve those minutes, the April 30th. Colette, please, if you could follow up and then send those over to Irene and the Pavia, which is our IT specialist, and they'll post those.
Sure.
Just as a side about minutes, Andy and Colette have made a big effort to try to track down past recordings and minutes, and Colette is going to be working a lot to update all those minutes, the missing months for the minutes that we didn't have in the past. So thank you for Colette and Andy for that.
Sure.
So that'll solve a big problem. There was a number of resolutions that were sent out today in the package. Do you want to table those resolutions to the next meeting because we'd have time to review them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So we all agree with that.
The only resolution I would consider is that insurance resolution, which we talked about in the last meeting, if you could open it up, Mike, and show it on screen. I think Donnell is really pressured to make sure we have our insurance, and I don't know whether we want to have a dialogue about that particular one. Oh, Donnell?
Yeah,
I know you had some
there's two actually.
concern about this.
There's two actually. It's the fund commissioner one and the RMC and RMC agreements.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, but give me a second. I'll try to call it up. I think it's here. And I don't know which one is this. There's several here. I can open this up, but I don't. What is it? RMC and RMC? No, there's two of them.
One is appointing a fund commissioner, and the other one's appointing the risk management consultant and approving your signature for the agreement.
I guess we should just table it for right now until another meeting. I know Danelle has been really hot on the trail for this one.
Yeah, it really should have been end of last year, and I did email it to everybody during the meeting at the last meeting. So I would really encourage you to vote on it.
The fund commissioner one?
Yeah, so do you guys have if you have access to your packets?
So I can read it to the group if that helps.
Go ahead, Kristen.
Good.
Vernon Township Municipal Utility Authority resolution number needs to be defined, 20-blank. Appointing fund commissioner, statewide insurance fund. Whereas Vernon Township Municipal Utility Authority, hereinafter referred to as local unit, is a member of the statewide insurance fund, hereinafter referred to as fund, a joint insurance fund as defined in NJSA 40A:10-36 et sec. And whereas the fund's bylaws require participating members to appoint a fund commissioner, now therefore be it resolved by the governing body of the Vernon Township Municipal Utility Authority or local unit that Michael Fury is hereby appointed as the fund commissioner for the local unit for fund year 2020, and be it further resolved that Danelle Bright, second elected official or employee, is hereby appointed as the alternate fund commissioner for the local unit for the fund year 2020, and be it further resolved that the local unit's fund commissioner is authorized and directed to execute all such documents as required by the fund. The name of the entity is the Vernon Township Municipal Utility Authority, and it's attested by Mike Fury and as chairman. So any discussion on that?
Yeah, we'll start with any discussion on that.
No, I'm reading here right in front of me. It seems okay to me.
Yeah,
All right.
it's straightforward. I mean,
So, see, there's no discussion or any comments. We'll make anybody want to make a motion to approve that resolution?
I guess I'll make that motion to approve the resolution to be numbered to appoint fund commissioner for statewide insurance fund.
Yeah, I'll second that motion. I'll make a second. All in favor?
aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed?
Do we need a roll call? I'm not clear on exactly it was when we need a roll call versus other, but this one does have a roll call at the bottom.
All right, Colette, could you take a roll call?
Sure. Roll call is Christian. Sorry, I'm having some computer issues here. Colette Burrell, Mike Fury, Danelle Bright.
So the one we'll go one at a time. From the list here is Mike Fury,
Mike Fury, yes.
Angela Erickson is absent.
Absent.
Paul Kearney,
Yes.
Dave McDermott,
Yes.
Kristen Wheaton, yes. Andrew Pitsker,
Yes.
and that concludes the roll call.
Thank you.
All right, I'm trying to find this other one. The other one is
Approving payment of the bills.
no, it's
No, the other one is
That's
the
that one,
appointed
right.
risk management consultant.
all right. I called that up. I'll read that to everybody. Just give me a second. Resolution 20 dash has to be numbered. Appointing risk management consultant, whereas Vernon Township MUA here and after local unit has joined the statewide insurance fund here and after fund. The joint insurance fund is defined in NJSA 48 10-36. Whereas the bylaws require participating members to appoint a risk management consultant, as those positions are defined in the bylaws, is requested to do so by fund. And whereas the local unit has complied with the relevant law with regard to the appointment of risk management consultant, whereas the fund has requested its members to appoint individuals or entities that to that position, therefore may be resolved by the governing body of the Vernon Township Municipal Utility Authority in the County of Sussex and State of New Jersey, as follows. Number one, Vernon Township MUA hereby is appointed Skylands Risk Management, its risk management consultant. The administrator, number two, the administrator of the Vernon Township MUA Utility Authority and risk management consultant are hereby authorized to execute the risk management consulting agreement for the year 2020 in the form attached hereto. Signed by signature Michael Fury, Chair. Any discussion on that?
Nope.
No.
If there's no discussion, while we're collecting you.
I'm sorry. So we don't quite have an administrator yet. We're getting closer to that finish line, but do we need an alternate at this time since we don't have an administrator?
I will
You
be
don't. Sorry,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
You don't. You're setting that person so that they would be able to execute. You know, they would be the point person. Really, is what it's for. Mike can go ahead and sign it. He's the chairman, so.
Okay.
I thanks, Kristen, for bringing that up. That's a good point. It does say that. Any other discussion? Colette, could you take a roll call?
Sure.
Well, we need a first and a second, right? So I guess I'll make.
Sorry, I apologize.
I'll make the motion.
Do you want to make a motion to pass the resolution?
I'll make the motion to approve resolution 20 to be determined for appointing the risk management consultant.
I'll second it.
Okay.
All right, second by Dave McDermott. All in favor? I'm sorry, take a roll call. Sorry.
Sure. Mike Fury,
Yes.
Kristen,
Yes.
Dave McDermott,
Yes.
Donnell,
Donnell's
No,
not
no,
on.
no.
Dave,
Dave.
Yeah, I vote yes.
Andrew,
Yes.
okay.
Thank you.
That concludes the roll call. Thank you.
I think Paul Carney.
Oh, Paul.
Yes, sorry.
Mike.
Yes.
Paul.
Yes.
Sorry, Paul.
And then Angela Erickson is absent.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Donnell, just from your point of view, is there anything pressing on the resolutions? Other than that, if not, we're going to table the rest of them to the next meeting.
No, that's fine.
All right. All right. just to move on to the to give an update on the pump. The pump was installed on Monday. All the electrical work was completed, and the new pump is functional in pump station 3. The other pump that was there is there as a backup pump. The electrical contractor actually came in, helped with the installation of that pump, and there was also an issue at pump station 1, and he took care of that issue too. It was a small electrical issue. So that pump was installed. I'm gonna move the generators for the lift stations, that discussion, to the next meeting. Just for the time, we'll cover that in the next meeting. The safety review was received. Did everybody have a copy of the safety review?
Yes.
Yes. We had some discussion earlier, but is there any other discussion or any kind of follow-up? Obviously, I think the MUA wants to address a lot of these safety issues. Does everybody agree with that?
Of course,
I agree.
Yes.
Yes.
So what I'd like to do is read that safety review pretty carefully, and then our next workshop, we could start discussing items that need to be addressed, some things that we need to address to take care of those safety issues.
I was wondering if
I have a question regarding those safety issues, Mike.
Go ahead, Andy.
The question I have is there possible to take a proactive approach and have somebody at least give us a quotation what it would take to comply to those?
Well,
I was
I think what we could. Go ahead, Kristen.
Yeah, I'm thinking before we do that, we go through the list and determine what we can do in-house versus what we need to outsource. So I think my recommendation was going to be that that maybe Colette would be able to go through the list and make some kind of initial assessment of whether it's something that we can accomplish. If it's signage or preparation of SOPs, with a little conversation with Jack and is it Jimmy? Determine those items that we can do ourselves versus that we need somebody else to assist with.
Yeah, I agree with Kristen. That's probably the best approach is to review it internally and determine what we can do ourselves, and then what will require an outside contractor.
Yeah, sure. The more we can do in-house, the cheaper it's going to be, too. I mean, that's to save a lot of money that way.
I agree.
Does that sound reasonable? I don't know if you've had a chance, Colette, to look at that safety review, but does that sound like a reasonable, like something that you could look at?
Sure, absolutely. I need some guidance and direction as to where it is, and I can certainly take it, start reviewing it. Excuse me, and oh my God, excuse me, and analyze them.
Great.
Right. Colette, what I'll do? You probably don't have a copy of it. Just reach out to me, send me a reminder, and I'll send you a copy of the 2 reports. There's 2 reports that you need to review.
Okay.
So is everybody in agreement with that? That's something and I agree with Kristen. We'll look at that and try to determine what we could do ourselves and what we require an outside contractor for.
Sounds
and
good.
Just to add, and whatever is an outside contractor, we determine that we can't do internally, we may have to get input from the engineer to get a rough cost or whatever. Start getting quotes. We'll determine that at a later date.
Yeah, and some of those points in the safety report are also in the AMP report as well.
Right.
Just so you know.
I agree.
There's a duplication of.
Yeah, just to let you know that these safety issues have to be addressed, and they're serious. So we need to take care of those. All right, thanks. Anything else about the safety report?
Not about the report itself, but it's a real shame that it got this bad in the first place.
All right. And that's some of the feedback you heard, right, Paul?
What's that?
that there are a lot of serious safety issues.
Oh yeah, I mean, but then and the bad part is that it's either always been this way or it got this way over time, and that it got to this point where it's it needs immediate attention. It's
Right.
not good. These are things that you get fined for. So, and
Right.
then somebody gets.
Right. I agree with you, Paul. Either from POSHA or the DEP. We don't want to risk getting fined. So we'll address this at the next workshop meeting.
Yeah, that definitely seemed like good, money well spent. And I guess, I know I missed the April 30th meeting, but at the meeting prior on the 16th, I think we were discussing it more as a CSE or confined space entry issue. But clearly there's a lot more than just CSE to be concerned with. So that's a really helpful report for us.
Good. All right. Next, any go around to any member comments? We'll start with Kristen. Anything?
Nothing further. Think of.
Dave McDermott,
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Paul Carney,
No, I think we covered it.
Andy Pitzker.
Colette, welcome aboard to your first meeting.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Good to be on board.
I have nothing else further to add. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'm sorry,
Motion.
Mike.
Go ahead. Sorry, Kristen.
Did we have a resolution to appoint Colette that we needed to act on?
Yeah, we actually did. I appreciate you bringing that up. If you want me to call that up, I apologize if I did not address that. Hold on a second, okay?
Good pickup, Kristen. Good pickup.
I figure she wants to get paid at some point.
Yeah. I'm going to. Give me a second. I got it. Hold on. For those who can't see the screen, I'm going to read this. Vernon Township MUA Resolution 20- to be determined, authorizing employment of Colette Burrell. Whereas the Vernon Township Municipal Utility Authority is in need of a part-time administrative assistant, and whereas Colette J. Burrell has applied for said position and appears qualified to perform the duties required of said position, therefore be it resolved that the Vernon Township MUA makes an offer of an employment in accordance with the terms of the offer annexed hereto. And now, therefore, be further resolved that the Vernon Township Municipal Authorities offer Colette J. Burrell a contract of employment to serve in the capacity of administrative assistant at a salary not to exceed $22 per hour for a maximum of 20 hours per week, effective May 18th, 2020. Any discussion?
No.
No. No discussion?
No, I don't have anything.
Do we have Colette take her own roll call here?
Sure. Michael Curry,
Yes?
Erica.
It's Angela Erickson?
Oh, I apologize. Yeah, Angela.
Absent.
Is that, yeah. Paul Carney,
Yes.
Steve McDermott,
Yes.
Christian Wheaton,
Yes.
Andrew Bitzker.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, Kristen, for that. That was helpful.
Okay.
All right.
That concludes the roll call. Thank you.
Kristen, nice call.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. It's long. It's late. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion?
Motion
I'll
by
make a
Andy
motion to
Fitzgerald.
adjourn. I'll second it.
Second by David. Yeah, second David by Dave McDermott. All in favor?
Aye.
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 No opposed. Any opposed?
Nope.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for the meeting. I appreciate it. We'll put something out for the next workshop, a date. We'll get that out soon.
Thank you.
All right, very good. Good night, everybody.
Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a good night.
Have a good
Good
night.
night. Hi, Dave. I'm disconnecting you.
Okay, thank you, Andy.
You're welcome. Bye.